much to fuel inspiration and passion, as we said, comprehending the underlying balance of inspirational leadership, identify the self-development qualities that inspire leaders, right? And what they must develop to inspire engagements and passion in others. So as I asked you before, right? Give me 1 second here, okay? Right? We select live inspirational leadership. And my question to you was, what's the difference between inspirational leadership and regular leadership? Does anybody have any idea that they want to share with me? What do you think the difference is between regular leadership courses and, say, leadership inspiration? Okay, all right, good, I like that. All right, so moving forward. So if we do some research, it has been identified that a leader is a person who leads or commands a group, an organization, or a country. So if we look at this definition, by definition, anybody that's designated as a leader is essentially a leader. So if I say to someone, you know what, you're a supervisor, you're a manager, I want you to lead this team. So by this simple terminology, we can say that anyone could be a leader, even for an organization or even for a country. But let's talk about what a true leader is. A true leader is defined as a leader of integrity that establishes a natural following of trust, who has genuine values, who creates loyalty and inspires excellence. True leadership. God knows we can use a lot more true leadership in this world today. We are all going through some very difficult times right now. Now, personally, in my opinion, there's a lot of true leadership that's missing in the world right now. I've been teaching leadership for a long time. And during my classes, as I ask questions and we have discussions, I've learned a lot of points that we are going to bring forth in this course. It also says a true leader is what a person is. It is their being in action. Someone people follow because they want to, not because they have to. So we start to identify that there's a difference between when we refer to someone simply as a leader, because many organizations have leaders. But a lot of organizations are missing true leaders. When I teach my courses many times, and we speak about true leadership, many people tell me, you know, Mr. Castillo, everything that you're saying, it really sounds wonderful, and I can appreciate what you're describing as a true leader, but they don't exist. And it's always sad to me that so many people have never had the opportunity to work for a true leader. I have. And when this comes up in the classroom, I ask the rest of the class, how about the rest of you? Have you ever worked for someone like this? And of course, many of them raise their hand and say, yes, I have. They do exist. They are out there. And many of those other students, they're very much surprised. So, true leadership. What does it take to be a true leader? During this course, we will identify the core qualities needed to stimulate, encourage, instigate, enthuse, and inspire true leadership. Okay? So, let me ask you, By the way, I love this phrase. I just added this in my presentation. It says, leadership is an action, not a position. So let me ask you, and you can text your answers to me. What do you think their core qualities of a true leader are? Someone real clarity. Okay. What else? Okay, we have trust, right? Charismatic. Passion. Respectful. Credible. Credibility, right? Very good. Honest, very important, honest. Simplicity. I like that one. Oh, honest. Okay. Simplicity. Very powerful. Good communication. Absolutely. Good job. Self-awareness. All right. I'll take that one. Okay, self-awareness. Right, change things for the better. Okay, so someone that makes changes, I'll just put it just like that. They lead by example. Okay. Good listener. All right. Open-minded. Absolutely. Knowledgeable. I hear these all the time. People complain. Gratitude. That's an interesting one. Gratitude for what? For life, for job, for the employees that work under them. Okay. Loyal, very powerful also as well. Okay, let me see if I missed anything here. Active listening, I think we got listening skills. Okay, let me put it on here just in case. Okay, all right, and responsible, wow, also very powerful. Authentic, okay. All right, good job, everybody. Outstanding, absolutely. You know, normally when I teach my classes, people struggle to identify what the core values of a true leader are. Empowering also as well, right? Good job. Now, when I ask about, you know, what are some of the mistakes managers make, supervisors, leaders make, I get tons of them, okay? And then when I ask them, what would you look for? What qualities would you look for in a leader that would inspire you to work for them? Not because you have to, but because you want to. And these are normally the ones that come up. You did a great job. I appreciate the effort. Good job, everyone. So let me show you some of the ones that I have. So let's look at the core qualities of leaders that inspire. Let's see if we missed any. They collaborate beyond hierarchies. What does that mean? What are we saying there? Right? They not only collaborate with the people at work that they need to because they're going to look good, they're going to get promoted, or because it's their boss. They collaborate with everyone. And the most effective way to collaborate is when you do what's best for the organization. And if you do what's best for your fellow employees, regardless of their rank, that's what's best for the organization. They manage as servants. This is a very interesting term. And I actually found this in Agile Leadership. There's a lot of leadership courses out there. There's another one, the 7 principles, the 7 pillars of leadership. And then there's 5 pillars of leadership, et cetera, et cetera. But I can promise you this. any one of those other courses that you ever take or that scholars have put together, the foundation of all that material, you're going to find it in this course. Even though it's a 1-hour course, I'm going to try to deliver it as quickly as I can. Inspired, nurtures, effective, independencies, right? Okay, very good. So, trust, absolutely. And let me share something with you. Trust, in my opinion, is the most important quality in true leadership. If you lose your people's trust, they cannot see you as a leader. And if you lose their trust, it's very difficult to gain back. Trust is very, very crucial in leadership. Motivation. Not only are true leaders motivated, they're able to motivate people. They're inspired. How do you get inspired to perform a job? And if you're not inspired, how can you inspire other people at work that follow you? They're positive. They have values. And if these values are interlinked with the values of the organization, they're that much more powerful. Again, how can you share your values with your employees or the values of the organization if you don't know what your values are? They have vision. You know, ask yourself, do you know what your vision is where you work at? Do you know what your organization's vision is? Because if you're not aware of what your vision is or your values or what motivates you, how can you share that with other people? You can't. They're fair. I hear this one all the time. It's very important. And they should be fair. True leaders should be fair. They're honest. That's why we respect them. We look up to them. They're confident. Now, something I hear in the classroom all the time, Mr. Castillo, it's not easy to be confident. Sometimes I'm very shy. Okay, we're going to go over some of the self-development tools that help us gain all of these qualities. Okay, honest to oneself and to others. Absolutely. They have service. Absolutely. Very good. Good job. Passion. How many of us have passion in what we do, in life, at work? You can't fake passion. If you don't have passion within your workplace, the people that work for you, they can tell. They can tell when we don't care about our job, when we're just there for the money. And guess what? If we're just there for the money, they're going to be there for the money. Because in their mind, the first thing that they're thinking is, if he doesn't care, why should I care? Why is he asking me to have passion or to care about the organization when he doesn't? They're transparent, okay? Now, I wish I can go into each one of these in more detail, but this is just, this is a short course, okay? It's an introductory course. They tend to be role models. Why are they role models? Because when you have these qualities, these core qualities that leaders have, that true leaders have, you become a role model. They do not need to command. I like this one. I think it's very, very powerful. And it's true. You don't need to order people to do things. When you're seen as a true leader, when people see what you need, they tend to do it because they want you. They want to help you. They'll even come up to you and they'll ask you, sir, what do you need from me? What do you need me to do today? I live this, by the way, okay? Praises, recognition. They give people recognition and praises. How many managers, how many supervisors do we know that all they do is they look for the mistakes that we make? And how difficult is it to come up to someone and say, hey, by the way, you did a good job today. I appreciate your work. 15, 20 seconds. But yet it's so powerful. It instills so much power. They're empathetic. They care about people. They respect others. If you don't respect people, how can you expect people to respect you? They accept strengths and weaknesses. You have to excuse me for drinking coffee, but obviously I'm doing a lot of talking. To move from commanding and controlling to sensing and steering. Wow, that's pretty powerful. I'm going to use that next time. I like that. Good job, Farah. Very good, very good. Thank you. Creativity, Latifa. Absolutely. All right, very good. Empty not is saying exactly. A lot of people, when we when we teach these courses, they're like, yeah, why don't they do that? Good communication and good listeners. If you want to be a leader, a true leader, we need to learn to listen to people, and we need to sharpen our communication skills. Now, this is an inspirational leadership course, so therefore, I'm going to talk about inspirational communication as well. They accept the differences in people, right? They see people for who they are, and they accept that we don't all think the same. They're engaging, right? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. They're aware of how they impact other people, both positive and negatively. Absolutely. They have good social skills. All right, very good. Okay. All right, I don't think I missed anything. Anybody typed in here? Thank you. Hey, I appreciate the participation. Good job, everyone. All right, so inspirational leadership. Why is this course named Inspirational Leadership? People ask me, why isn't it named True Leadership, Mr. Castillo? Because I'll tell you why. In my opinion, you need to learn to inspire people, and you need to inspire yourself before you can become a true leader. So to me, this is the foundation of true leadership. So therefore, based on the screen we just covered and all the different core qualities that you gave me and I shared with you, it's fair to say that therefore to inspire, a true leader must be accepted as a true leader by his or her peers. Now, don't overlook this sentence, because what it's saying is that for me or for you to be a true leader, it must be designated by our peers. It's not a position. It's not a name. It's the way people see you. So what others think, in this case, it doesn't matter. They must have the core qualities that are admired and respected by others. If you've ever had the opportunity to work for a true leader and you really start analyzing and thinking about it, why do I respect this person? Why do I follow them? Why do I admire them as leaders? You'll soon discover that the foundation of that is based on the qualities that they have as human beings, as leaders, the way they inspire us as role models. So, true leadership and the core qualities, they cannot be given. They must be earned. And if anybody disagrees with me, by the way, I love I love it when people disagree or they bring something up. Text it in. Let me know. Okay? So both the designation of a true leader, it cannot be given to someone. It has to be earned. And the core qualities, they can also not be given to us. We must earn them. Now, if we think about it, okay, true leadership, we know how we're designated as true leaders. As it says up above, it says it must be true leaders must be accepted as true leaders by his or her peers. That means that to be designated as a true leader, it has to come from the person that is designating you as a true leader. So that's pretty easy. But what about the core qualities? Where do we learn those? Where do they come from? Anybody? What do you think? Okay. So, every time I teach a course related to true leadership or inspirational leadership, one of the questions that I always get asked is, okay, and here Farah says their nature, right? They're natural. Is Mr. Castillo, do you think that true leaders are born or made? And I've thought about this question many times, and I'm going to give you what I believe. I believe that many people are born with some of the aptitudes that facilitate being a true leader, such as charisma, good speaking abilities, right? Body language that reflects, their charisma, their passion. But in my personal opinion, I believe that true leaders are made. Now, it can come from the experiences that we've had in life, right? Somebody wrote, who is this on what? Life, hard experience. Absolutely. I'm a true believer in this. The difficulties that we've had in life, even working for organizations, what we learn from those difficulties, if we don't forget them, right, they can help us become true leaders. So also the spiritual things that we learn in life as well. Now, some leaders are born to be leaders. Now, in my opinion, these people are guided to be true leaders as well. So they're taught the principles of leadership. Now, why do I believe this? Because one of the answers that I give people when they argue with me that some are born, I say, well, I've known many criminals. I've known many criminals that they're very easy talkers. They have very good, effective communication skills, but yet they're lying to you the whole time. Now, are we going to call them true leaders? Absolutely not. Okay, so the core qualities, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. Inspirational leadership. Now, I've come to the conclusion that to grow these core qualities as a true leader, they're based on emotional intelligence, our self-awareness, our self-control, our ability to expand our social skills, our empathy, and our motivation. What happened here? There we go. Self-awareness, right? So we're going to cover self-awareness first. Understanding our behaviors, how we think, right? What our intentions are, who we are, our emotions, our reactions, our responses, what we believe in. Understanding our values, our goals, our vision, our objectives, our purpose. Ask yourself, what's your purpose? What's your purpose in life? What's your purpose at work? Why are you there? What's the reason for being there? Because if we don't know, how can we be inspired? How can we have passion? And if we're not inspired and we don't have passion, how can we share passion with others? How can we provide the people that are designated to do what we ask them to do, right? That work under us. How can we inspire them? How can we offer them passion? Being in touch with our why. The ability to remove assumptions, not ignoring them. Being biased, being unfair, identifying who we are, what we do, good and bad. Self-control, the ability to control our behavior, our emotions. We'll cover this in detail as well. Our social skills as well are very important in true leadership. We obviously have to have good social skills as well. And I'm going to explain why these are so important. Empathy. Empathy is important for true leadership. People need to identify that you care for them. But you can't fake these things, any of these things. They have to come from within. They have to be based on honesty. They have to be based on who you are. Men and women are equally effective in setting that matched gender role. Absolutely. This has nothing to do with gender. Okay? There are many women that are leaders, no doubt about it. And by the way, you don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be a supervisor. You don't have to be a manager to be a leader or a team leader. It's not a designation. It's who you are. Therefore, each one of us can be true leaders. I've worked for many people that are not in a position, a designated position as a supervisor, but yes, yet I saw them as leaders. These are the people that many times you're in a room and the supervisor is giving you a spill, instructions, what he expects you to do, and then you walk out of that room and you feel negative. And when you walk out of that room, someone within the team says, okay, guys, let's go. Let's make the ground shake. Let's make something happen. And the tone in their voice, the look in their eyes, they inspire you. They offer you passion in that one moment. And they say, let's go. And you follow them because you feel inspired. Anyone could be a leader. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, right? Motivation. You know, it's interesting that motivation is part of emotional intelligence. Okay, but we'll find out why. I'm gonna cover that in detail. And the last one is inspirational communication. It's critical to all of this. All right, very good. So let's cover the first one: self-awareness. Leadership through self-awareness. Understanding the essence of who we are. How can we inspire to lead people? To provide advice, to provide passion, if we don't know who we are? We have to identify who we are, what we are spiritually to be able to inspire people. We have to be able to identify our emotions. If we don't identify, if we don't track our emotions, we tend to make so many mistakes. Self-awareness is the ability to just not react to things, but to stop and ask yourself, what am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? Is it based on an emotion that I'm having? Am I doing the wrong thing or am I doing the right thing? How can you be fair if you don't identify your emotions? Is there something that's interfering within yourself? Predicting your emotional reactions, and that's basically what I just said. Knowing your values and your beliefs. Setting your vision, your goals, your objectives. I can't tell you how many people in class I ask, say, what's your vision? What's your goal? Because I hear people complain all the time about things, about not getting promoted, about this and that. And I ask them, so what's your goal? Do you have a goal right now? I hear what you want, but how are you going to get there? Do you have a plan in place? Why do you want to be a supervisor? Why do you want to be a manager? Because if you don't know why, how are you, where's the passion? Where's the inspiration to develop this objective, this goal that you have? Deal with angry. So how do I deal with angry leadership at work? Okay, I'm going to cover this. Becomes toxic if such environment exists. Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to cover a little bit on this. Negative things that occur at work. Sometimes the organization is dysfunctional. Okay, now you have to identify there's things that are out of your control and there's things that are within your control. What we're talking about is focusing on things that are within our control. But before we can do that, we need to identify who we are, what we want. Okay? So we'll get there, I promise you, we're going to get there. Even though we only have an hour, I'll touch on them very, very quickly, as best I can. Removing assumptions, not ignoring them, identifying them. We have to be able to identify assumptions that we make within ourselves. Let me give you a quick example. I flew into Germany one time, and I was making a connection flight, and I'm walking through the airport, and I am looking at what? I'm looking at Germans, and subconsciously in my mind, I'm looking at them with some certain degree of dislike, and my mind is thinking, oh, Germans, negative thoughts, right? So right then and there, I stopped myself, right? Self-awareness. I said, whoa, Richard, what are you doing? Why are you having these negative thoughts about people from Germany? You've never been here before. They've never done anything to you. Now, my answer's, the best answer I can give you is probably something in my life. It could be movies. It could be cartoons, right? Something created this negative, toxic thought process in my mind. But I was able to identify what I was doing, stop it, and realign my thoughts. Self-awareness, right? being biased, prejudice, so many things. So let me ask you something. Finding our purpose, okay? What does that mean, our purpose? What our purpose is. What am I referring to here? Anybody? All right, okay. Mission, okay, yeah, absolutely. Farah, what's your mission? What's your purpose? What's your purpose at work? What's your reason for being there? What's the purpose of the organization? Generate engagement among my team. Okay, very good. Rashid, I like that. Okay. But how do we generate that engagement? Right? Generate revenue. Okay. In other words, make the organization successful. Right? And that's the core reason of wanting to be a true leader. Okay. So the reason I asked this, right? Goal setting, conversational success achievements. All right. Okay. It's critical to identify what our purpose is, what our why is. Why are we there? What's the purpose of the organization? What is their why? Now, what is Richard talking about? Many organizations, they lack in their vision and mission statements, and this organization in itself, to identify the true purpose of that organization. What happens when people don't understand that are working there, what the purpose, what the why of that organization is, they tend to focus on things like money and revenue. If you look at most companies, their marketing strategies are based on what they do and how they do it and why you should purchase what they sell you, okay? But very rarely, with some exceptions, like Microsoft and some very like Google, for example, their why, the why that they share with you is a purpose related to the betterment of mankind, the betterment of helping people educate themselves and so forth and so on. This is the purpose. These are the whys that instill passion, that inspire people. People that tend to work for organizations that have identified their purpose and their why, and it's interrelated to the betterment of the world or the human race, or to facilitate people in doing their job, their computer skills. These forms of purpose and whys are the ones that instill passion and inspiration. Okay. So we need to identify what is our purpose, what is our why. Why are we there within the organization? What are we trying to accomplish? Now, thankfully, I can tell you right now, okay, I am very passionate about what I do. I'm very passionate about instructing. I'm very passionate about sharing my life experiences and my work experiences with people. It inspires me. I enjoy it. So I know what my purpose is. So let's touch on social behavior, right? And we're still in self-awareness, okay? Now, if I were to ask you, okay, let me back up a little bit. How much of yourself do you believe you know about yourself? If you were to put this in a percentage, right? Why you do things, why you set goals, why you behave the way you do, why you react to other people's political statements the way you do. Maya says 110. Now Watt says 80%. Okay, how well do we know ourselves? 80%. Come on, give me some more percentages here. Give me a few more. Come on. What do you think? There's no wrong answers. Come on. 40%, 85%. Okay. Now this is going to surprise you. 70%, Ali. Okay, good job. Now, this is a very important part of the course. Okay. We are only aware of 10% consciously of our behaviors, our knowledge, and our skills. Think about it, 10%. That means we are unaware of the other 90%. Now, That 90% is subdivided into two categories. One is the preconscious memory, our attitudes, our habits, why we do things, why we react to certain things the way we do, our beliefs. Why do people in the world have different beliefs? Because we've been taught different things. These beliefs, these values that we've been taught, they're instilled in our mind, and they become habits. They become feelings. We set our goals, our choices, and our objectives. Now, these are preconscious. Why? Because when I set a goal, I do it consciously. When I start to follow up on that goal, as I continue within my career, or it could be a life goal, right? I'm consciously doing things related to that subconscious goal that I set. Or it could be a subconscious goal that my family set for me. So therefore, my reactions, what I'm doing, the way I'm answering people, my acceptance towards other people, they're subconscious. Why do you think there's so many people that are biased and racist in the world? Because within this 90%, they were taught to believe in these things. Unconscious. The values, our traits, our motives, the reason we do things, our thoughts, our way of thinking, the way we react, feelings, our desires, our impulses, these are unconscious. That means that we're doing these things based on reasons that we don't even know, we don't remember anymore. Just like when I was racist at that airport, it was very unconscious. To this day, I don't know exactly why it was. More than likely it was because of the movies that I saw as a child, right? Back then, the World War II movies. And if you think about it now, even when you watch the Avengers, you know, they're doing the higher whatever they say, right? Social leadership is authority given to us by the community. Yes, social leadership is a designation. But it doesn't mean that we are a social leader. To be a social leader, that requires emotions. It requires certain things that come from within you. And that's what we're talking about today. So make sure we separate between a designation and who we are as true leaders. All right. Thank you for that comment. Very good. Okay. So we've identified that 90% of who we are is either preconscious or subconscious. So let's talk about self-development. Even now, taking this course, there are certain things that I'm saying that you're not going to agree with, or you may dislike, because they're pushing hard against your beliefs or your values. So let me explain to you why, because this is important for us to identify this. You see, in our mind, we create roadmaps. They're called habits. Based on things that we've experienced in our life, the way we've been doing things our entire life, or for a certain period of time, we create a habit. The more we do things this way, the stronger this roadmap is. The stronger the roadmap is, the harder it is to accept when someone tells you something that goes against this belief or this habit. Now, if we're able to self-assess ourselves, and we're able to identify that we need to change this thought process, right? Then what happens is we start to create a new roadmap, as you can see here. Now, we have to consciously work hard on accepting this new belief or this new thought process or this new objective that we put in place or this new self-development quality that we're going to work on. Okay. Now, the more we work on it, the stronger it gets. Eventually, what happens is we eliminate the old habit. Okay. So I want to share this with you because it's critical to self-development, to change within ourselves. This is why coaching is so powerful, because we get people to accept what they need to change within themselves. That's the foundation of coaching, okay, as opposed to mentoring. All right. Number 2, leadership and self-control. Self-control. Now, if you think about it, you can control yourself. You can expand your self-control abilities without being self-aware. Now, why do you think that is? Quickly, someone tell me. See if they can tell me. Why do you have to have a self-awareness in place to be able to control yourself? It's quite simple. If you can identify the emotions that you're going through as to why you're reacting the way you are to a certain thing, how can you control yourself? It's like you're blind, because we're basically working off the 10% from the iceberg model. We're just reacting, we're saying what we believe in without analyzing ourselves, which is self-awareness. So therefore, we cannot better control ourselves, okay? So as we see here, if we're able to identify and analyze our thoughts, we can control our behavior. And I have many examples I can give you, but not today. We can develop our ability to control our emotions. So if we identify our emotions, right, we can better control them, and we are able to develop the ability to control our emotions from there. Therefore, we're able to change our habits and our behaviors. Okay, supporting others' mental activities. Absolutely, we're talking about change management. Good job, Latifa, absolutely, right? So we're able to predictably redirect positive and negative emotions as well. Now, what is Richard talking about here? There's so many different aspects to this, so many different examples. I'm just going to touch on a few of them. So an example would be if there's someone at work that I don't like. For some reason, I don't like them. I don't even know why, okay? If I'm unable to identify through my self-awareness, identify this feeling, right, then I can't control my behavior towards them. But if I do, I can start to change and develop and turn that relationship with them into something positive. Covey circles of control. By being able to identify things that are within your control as opposed to out of your control, and things that you can influence. This is not easy. I teach this in many courses. Literally takes me 2 hours of discussions and arguments with people before I get them to realize that they need to stop focusing on things that are out of their control. What is the hang up? Why is it so difficult for them to finally come to the realization that they need to let go of things that are out of their control? Because it's based on emotions. And it requires the ability to accept that what is driving your behavior is an emotion. And until you come to that realization, you cannot stop and redirect your behavior, which is self-control. Okay? All right, very good. Yeah. All right, leadership and social skills. They require effective self-awareness and self-control. So the third one is social skills. Now, obviously, right, social skills is critical to true leadership, your ability to get along with people. Now, unless you have self-awareness and self-control, you cannot have good social skills, right? So you have to have the ability to get along with people one-on-one. Team building, right? Good social skills. Let me move something here on my screen. All right, coaching and mentoring, as we mentioned before, it requires self-awareness, right? And good social skills. Cultural sensitivity. I can talk about this for hours and hours. Absolutely, right? It requires good social skills. It requires for us to accept people for who they are, regardless of where they come from or what their beliefs are. And if you think about it, to get to that level of acceptance, we have to identify within ourselves what our beliefs are, why we have these beliefs, and then able to accept the fact that people's behaviors and beliefs are based on what they believe in. Once you're able to do this, you're able to accept people for who they are. Cultural sensitivity and change management. Absolutely social skills. Here at Select, we have an entire course on change management, but I promise you it's very much interrelated to social skills, all right? So one-on-one, okay? It's not just at work, right? It's in the personal life, at home, our family, obviously work, team building, forming, storming, norming, performing. They require all three of these skills that we've covered already, okay? Coaching, absolutely. Good social skills, good communication skills, okay? Self-development. How can we help someone better develop themselves if we haven't been able to identify our strengths, our weaknesses within ourselves, the weaknesses that we cope with, the struggles that we have in our career, in our life? As someone said, when you live through these difficulties, you're able to become a better true leader. I believe this, as well as a coach, okay? Cultural sensitivity, I touched on this, right? And change management as well, okay? All right, very good. The fourth one, empathy. Empathy. Understanding how other people feel. Understanding others' logics, points of view, and what they may be thinking. Empathy is very important, okay? In the most simple terms, to me, it's just caring about people. To be able to care about people, you need to understand how they feel. But there are many social blocks and self-development blocks that it could interfere with that. If we dislike someone, if we're unable to identify within ourselves the reason for this and move that aside, we cannot have good empathy skills. But when you're able to understand other people's logic, their way of thinking, their beliefs, their points of view, if you identify them within yourself, you can identify them within other people, and you can accept their beliefs. If you look at the social iceberg model, then you start to understand why we disagree with people, why they have different beliefs that are strongly embedded within them. We also see when their behaviors are toxic. As a leader, as a true leader, you're able to accept that, hey, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. So you're able to have empathy towards people, even when they're being toxic. And you're able to accept people for who they are. The ability to see things from other people's points of view, but also their values and their beliefs, right? Okay? Allow leaders to build and develop relationships with others that they lead. Absolutely. Because you practice empathy towards them. You care about them. You have good social skills. Absolutely, right? You accept their values and their beliefs. I love sitting down and talking with people about something that it could be a political discussion. I don't take it personal. I'm interested to see how they're wired, why they have the beliefs that they have. It's okay. I accept their beliefs. And the last one is motivation, okay? Let me ask you a quick question. Do self-awareness, self-control, social skills, and empathy, four of the pillars for emotional intelligence, right? Do they affect our ability to be motivated or to motivate others? Quickly, we don't have a lot of time. What do you think? Someone say, people sometimes they don't like their leader or the relationship. Hey, if you're the leader, you know what? All you can do is be the best you can be. Okay? And hopefully eventually, they'll accept you and they'll see you as a true leader. I've experienced this many, many times. Okay? Usually the other people on your team, they reposition this person into, eventually they come to the realization that they need to follow you, or that you are a good person and you mean well. Okay? But my question is motivation. What do you think? Okay? All right. I see so many. I don't see. Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you. First of all, all perimeters that you discussed are interlinked in a way. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Farah. And I'm going to cover this, no doubt about it, right? So she's saying yes. Farah's saying yes. First of all, you must be motivated to motivate others. All right? Look at yourself in the mirror at work and ask yourself, am I motivated? And if you're not, why aren't you motivated? Because it's going to require some self-development within yourself. You're going to have to analyze yourself. You're going to have to ask yourself some serious questions about who you are and why you're there and what's wrong. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? See others in your shoes, okay? You must be inspired to inspire. You must be passionate to inspire passion in other people. No doubt about it. You must be a master of vision to help others identify their vision. How aware are you of what the purpose of your organization is? Now, I'm not talking about making money or what the marketing is, right? But for example, if you work for a government entity here in the UAE, to me, it's very simple. My passion would be patriotism. Because you know what? If I help that organization excel, I am helping my society, my family, my children, my neighbors' children to better themselves, to have better schools. That would be my inspiration, my passion. And when an employee would ask me, you know, Mr. Garcia, why should I care? My answer would be very simple, because it's what's best for our community. It's what's best for our country. That's just a simple example, okay? All right, very good. Some good comments here. All right, very good. So before I kind of piece everything together, because we're coming towards the end, and I may go over a few minutes, okay? And that's okay, because when I started with this course, and last night I was thinking, I said, you know, I'm not going to push myself to make sure I finish right on the minute. If I go over a little bit, it's okay. All right, I'm going to teach this properly. Okay, so let's talk about inspirational communication. I came across this model about a year ago. I love teaching communication skills, by the way. Let me just share something with you very briefly, because we don't have a lot of time to talk about this. Okay, and please, you know, follow our courses, join our courses. We have some Select has some very powerful courses. It's a great organization. All right, so I'm going to share something with you. 67% of our communication skills, person to person, even online, is based on body language. Okay? So, the way I move my hands, my facial expression, the way I lean into the camera, even now, or in person with you, my stance, the position of my shoulders, the pitch, which is the 26% that you see here, the pitch, the tone, the way I jump, I bring it up and down. I can even whisper something to you to get your attention, right? The body language and the pitch, this is what creates effective communication skills. Now, 7% are the words. The words are not that important. It's not what we say, it's how we say it. You don't believe me because I get a lot of arguments in class until I finish with my point. One simple word, no, okay? No. No. No, right? Same word, but the pitch and my body language completely change the delivery of what I was trying to say. Okay, with that said, for inspirational communication, the foundation to inspire people when you speak to them, you have to be authentic. What does that mean? You have to believe in the words that you're saying, you're telling people. Now, I can tell you without any doubt, every word that I've said to you today, I strongly believe it. Okay, I'm being authentic with you. Now, the other half of this is empathy. You have to be empathetic towards people. You have to care about them. You have to understand their thought process, that they may not agree with you, and it's okay, right? Before I teach a course, these are things I take into consideration. You know, different thoughts, questions that they may ask. Empathy is very, very important, because when you're speaking, you're going to have people that disagree with you. It's okay. Accept it. Foresee it. Plan the answers. If you believe in what you're saying, you'll have a legitimate argument if you're being authentic. Now, on the right side, you see it says presence. The presence is very important. That's your stance, the position of your body. You need to be grounded. Your shoulders, the way you walk. From the moment you step out of your car and you walk towards your office, what is your body language? What is it communicating? The position of your shoulders, your facial expression. Do you look like you have passion, that you're inspired to be at work? Or do you look like you're there just because you have to be there? When you speak to your teams, it's the same thing. You need to show that passion, but you can't fake these things. They have to be within you. We have to develop them within ourselves. You need to have the ability to connect with people. If you believe in what you're saying, you will connect with people because you're sharing your beliefs, your thoughts. On the left side, it says content. You have to be able to express why it matters to you. And you can't do that unless it does matter to you. If you're trying to share positive thoughts, motivation, passion, you have to show that it matters to you, that you believe in what you're saying. And in the bottom left corner, you can see it says, paint a clear picture. In other words, keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Speak from the heart. Show them your passion. Show them your beliefs. Inspirational engagement in a nutshell. All right, so the core qualities of inspirational leadership. All right, I believe wholeheartedly that it's emotional intelligence. Okay, I've looked at so many models put together by scholars. Agile leadership, the 7 pillars of leadership. There's a 5 pillars. There's a 4 pillars of leadership. If you look at them, they're all integrated in what we just talked about. I should say touched upon, right? So emotional intelligence, self-awareness, the foundation, in my opinion, of emotional intelligence and inspirational leadership. We have to identify who we are, what we want, why we do what we do, our beliefs, our passion. We have to be able to accept our weaknesses, to learn and turn them into strengths. When we're biased towards people, why are we biased? All these things. Self-control, right? Now, if we're able to identify who we are in our thought process, we're able to control our behavior, our emotions, how we affect people. We're able to maintain balance, calmness, determination, willpower, confidence, right? So, as Farah said, right? They're all interlinked, absolutely. You cannot practice good self-control unless you know who you are, unless you identify within yourself what your beliefs are, what your thought process is, who you are, the essence of your being, good or bad. Absolutely. Social skills, they foster unity and purpose. Culture sensitivity, as we said, as with the nation together as one family, okay? So if you look at it, right, it's the same thing. To have good social skills, we need to identify within ourselves who we are, what our beliefs are. And with self-control, we're able to behave better towards people by identifying when we're being biased or why we dislike people and telling ourselves, you know what, it's okay. We're not all the same. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. You're able to accept them better. Empathy, the ability to sense other people's emotions. If you don't know what emotions you're going through, how can you sense other people's emotions? If you can't identify your struggles, how can you connect with other people that are going through struggles, excuse me, right? And accept their logics, their points, their arguments, understand their values, their beliefs. Imagine a world where everybody practiced these things and we're able to accept each other, where we had true leaders, or I should say more true leaders. I'll say this again, God knows we can use more true leaders these days. I know I can. So again, self-awareness, self-control. and social skills are all interrelated with empathy. Sometimes people ask me, why social skills? Well, if you are unable to effectively socially interact with someone, how can you practice empathy? How can you have them open up to you and show you what their thought processes or their concerns or their worries, right? And motivation, okay? Absolutely, right? If we don't understand what drives us, if we don't identify our emotions, our purpose, our why, how can we be motivated? How can we have passion? Because let me tell you something, money, salaries, they don't lead to happiness. Okay. Now, can they provide you with a certain degree of motivation? Absolutely. But we've talked about this in the classroom many, many times. True passion, true inspiration, in my opinion, no. Which to me is the foundation of true motivation. This requires self-development, okay? Self-control, social skills, empathy. Obviously, if you want to motivate others, right, you need to have all of these in place. So yes, for motivation, each one of these is also interlinked into motivation. Hi, Tricia. By the way, this is being recorded. We are going to have it on YouTube soon, so you'll be able to see this again. If you missed some of this or you missed the beginning, that's okay. All right. So the 5 pillars to emotional intelligence, and then inspirational communication, right? If you have worked on your self-awareness, your self-control, your social skills, your empathy, your motivation, I promise you, you become more confident. You create better communication skills within yourself. But if you truly believe in everything we've talked about, when you communicate with people, you're able to share your passion, share your inspiration. People will believe in you. You know why? Because you believe in yourself. Inspirational communication. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this course as much as I do. It's one of my favorite courses. Please follow us. Oh, poll. Okay, almost forgot the poll. Yes, end poll. Let me put the end poll up. Hold on a second before we cut off. I don't want to get in trouble with select. Let me see here. Let me stop this. Okay, let me come back over here. And my screen is a little different than what it normally is. Okay, but give me a second here, and I promise you I'll figure this out. Please don't leave. Have a quick poll. Okay. Do me a favor, it's a quick poll. Just take a quick minute and let me launch this poll. And if you would complete this poll for us, it would be very much appreciated. I've long admired Select for many, many things that they do. One of the things that they've been doing lately is offering these courses to the community. We all know that we've been going through some difficult times. Many of us are stuck at home. We aspire to continue our education, to learn new things, and that's one of the things that Select is doing. They're showing courses with everyone. It's their way of saying, you know, let me give something back to society, and that surely shows leadership in my book as far as an organization goes, without any doubt. All right. Okay, got a few more to go. And then I'll show you a couple of screens, and then we'll call it the end of the course. Okay. Let me see here. There's some chatting going on that I'm missing here. And I have a done poll already. All right. If you're leaving, thank you much for your participation. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the course as much as I did. Please follow us. I believe should be able to, while you're finishing, okay, please follow us. Okay. As I said, follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, follow our website. We have more courses that we're offering. Okay. We look forward to you keeping in touch with us. I appreciate your participation. Again, I hope you enjoyed the course as much as I did. God bless all of you during these difficult times. I wish you the best, your family the best, and I wish you the best in your careers. For those of you that are logging off. I don't want to miss some of the chats here. She's saying thank you. You bet. Okay. Looks like everybody completed the poll. All right. I'll stay logged in for a few minutes in case somebody has a question or something they want to share with me. Not a problem. And if you leave, as I said, I wish you the best.